Welcome to the official Lightning McQueen Comparathon. Today, we're going to take this Disney 100th Anniversary Special Edition Lightning McQueen and compare him to about 20 different versions of himself, whether it be official releases, customs, Chinese, Taiwan variants, whatever it may be under the sun. We got here today, and this review is going to get crazy. I am ecstatic to review this brand new version of him to a bunch of previous really cool versions of him and see at the end of the video which is truly the best. Will it even just be the classic Cars 1 McQueen out of nostalgia? Will it be the only gold McQueen Mattel has ever officially released besides this chrome one? I don't know. So why don't you find out with me together? Let's dive into this review. So yes, this came out of 2023 Singles Case F. It is a tremendous case. It has 8 brand new releases. The other 7, well, 5 of them are more of the Disney 100th Anniversary releases that I'll be reviewing in the next couple days here. But then they also had a couple Cars on the Road characters like Cryptid, Buster Lightning McQueen, and Claire Gunzer, who I've already reviewed. I'll link those in the description below and the card session pop-up and the case unboxing itself because you don't want to miss it. Like when there's a case with 8 new cars in it, I think it's like there's a law saying you can't miss that video. So yeah, taking a look here at the package. Obviously, you probably have seen this before. It has like a diamond type design in the background, and they kind of splinter it off, almost like a multiverse type design with Sully from Monsters Inc., Toy Story's Woody, Finding Nemo and Dory's Dory, Lightning McQueen himself, Miguel from Coco, Mrs. Incredible from The Incredibles. I like the packaging design. Obviously, it would be cool if they made artwork for each of the characters, but of course, they never seem to really do that for this type of stuff, so I get it. What they did do, though, is make a new card design. This has cut off corners to make it look a little sleeker than your typical package. Here's a Jackson Storm. You can see the rounded corners and all that stuff. The right side is pretty much the same because it's flat, but they have like this little cutout in the center. I like that. I think it's cool. Definitely wasn't necessary by any means, but it's a nice touch for sure. On the back here, you have the Disney 100 logo again. Very simple, elegant, just a nice gray to bluish gradient background, and then the 6 that are available: Lightning McQueen, Sally, Mater, Flo, Ramone, and Fabulous Hudson Hornet, aka Doc. Very pumped to get into these. I am going to review them in a very special order that you might be able to discern from the background there. I think that is the order that a lot of people would probably vote them to be in, but it's all subjective. I think that the most popular ones, though, are going to be these 3 bad boys, just because, for obvious reasons. But yeah, we've talked about before in my overview video on these that I also did a couple days ago. I'll link that in the description and card session pop-up. It's not maybe my 6 choices. Like if I had to pick these, I'd probably do them a little bit differently, but that is not to say that I'm upset with these choices. I think they're great. You can't really go wrong with these. They chose very safe options, and I cannot wait to get open. So enough talking about these things. Let's open one up. Wow, he looks crispy out of the package. I'm just kind of taking him all in right now. Like he kind of gives me bare metal Zamac vibes. He gives me silver. He gives me chrome metallic. He gives me white metallic, which is just an odd color. He's kind of checking all the boxes for me right now. Like I'm really vibing with it. And I think it also comes down to the fact that they chose to use the Cars 1 model for this instead of the Cars 3 model, which they did for the Racing Red McQueen, even though he used Cars 1 McQueen decals. So very strange to me. Like, well, first of all, this should never have been the Cars 3 model, but okay, they did that. They used the Cars 3 model for a lot of that stuff. Obviously they did Gold McQueen that way. They're doing it going forward with Cars on the Road. So I thought, yeah, that's just, the ship has sailed on that. This is going to be the Cars 3 model. But no, they went back to the Cars 1 model, and I couldn't be happier about that. I like it more. But, it's not that I don't like the Cars 3 version. It just felt weird for them to switch it after so many years. It had been, what, 11 years of using the other model. So I thought that was a little strange, but regardless, moving past that, they did use it for the Pixar Fest cars, the Cars 1 model of McQueen. So maybe that's kind of why that they did for this too, because Pixar Fest and the Disney 100 stuff all kind of feels like it's cut from the same cloth, if you know what I mean. But yeah, happy that they did that. And let's just take a look at him solo dolo for now. The blue eyes looking good, pretty standard expression. A little bit different from your normal McQueen though, which I like because it's a little bit more symmetrical. You know, you can see the eyelids there are symmetrical versus being a little asymmetrical over here with the curled up one. But the mouths are basically identical. Maybe not as long. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now. Looks like the bolts on his hood are just painted over in the silver metallic color. But yeah, you can kind of see like a texture to it, and I do feel it a little bit. It's not grainy, it feels more, I don't know how to put this. Like, it just feels legit. It feels like real metal. It has like kind of that just weathered texture almost to it, but it's also not supposed to be weathered. I don't know how to describe it, guys. I'll probably find a better way to describe how they painted these by like, you know, the third or fourth review, but I am really vibing with it. I absolutely adore this decal here on the side. The metallic, just flat red there. There's no like shadow to it, no gradient. It's just a flat metallic red, and it looks fantastic. That's my favorite color. If you guys didn't already know, my car in real life is that exact color, so I really do love it. And then you have 95 there with a black trim around it. I also really like the gray tires that they gave all of these. Gray tires and gray wheels. It doesn't have the Lightyear text on it, which I thought they might have done, but they did not. And that's definitely probably for the best. The base here, it does have the notches, so you could use the Mater with the working tow hook on him. And he does have a date stamp. It's kind of hidden right there, SO4A, so that means he was made during the 4th week of 2023 at the A factory. I also like the gray windows there. They just simplified everything and made them look super elegant. And I also appreciate that they didn't put like any blaring Disney 100 decals on here. And I have to say, like, that was a great decision. Now that I really see these up close and personal, the fact that they didn't plaster Disney 100, you know, Years of Wonder or whatever on it is, oh, I can't thank whoever made that call more. Because, you know, as much as I like the Pixar Fest cars, you know, here's one of them, they are a little busy in terms of the decals. You know, they're trying to put 95 and Rust-eze on here, but they're also trying to put Pixar stuff on here. And I think, you know, the hood decal looks good, but I think, you know, the lamp and the ball, it just is a little much. And then you have the version here with the stripe and slightly different decals. It's a little busy for me. I'm not even convinced I like the Pixar text on the spoiler there. I know what they're going for. Like, I totally get it. And I would have understood if they put D100 or whatever on these cars, like a little decal down there. But it really took a lot of courage, I think, to decide not to go that route. Just make these standalone special releases. Like, you could apply this to anything, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be the Disney 100th anniversary. This is just a cool McQueen on his own without having to be attached to the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company, right? So I think that's great. It's something that no one's going to talk about because, well, it doesn't exist. Like, if the decals were on there, then yeah, people would probably talk and complain about them. But the fact that they're not there and it's something that they could have easily, conceivably done, something that I am very, very happy about. So now you guys know what time it is. It's time to compare this guy to a boatload of other McQueens. Obviously, this is the Thailand variant of Cars 1 McQueen. His, you know, most close relative here in terms of just model. Getting rid of, like, it's really stripped down bare bones. Like, if you guys are all for details and whatnot, you might not be a huge fan of these because these are a minimalistic, simplistic, elegant series of celebratory releases. No headlights, no taillights, you know, windows, all that stuff blacked out or grayed out. I have to say, though, these two complement each other a lot because of the fact that it's almost like inverted decals. You know what I'm saying? You know, instead of being metallic red with like chrome and gray decals, they're like a metallic gray with metallic red decals, you know? So these two look incredible together. It won't continue to be like this, obviously, once we get to Mater and compare him to his Racing Red version. It won't really look quite that good because he has the teal hood and all that, but these two look incredible together. And honestly, I wonder if this design, never mind. Yeah, that's completely false. I was going to say if like the Racing Reds kind of inspired these and they decided to, hey, what if we just like inverted those colors? But no, the Disney 100th, like this paint scheme, the super minimalistic white, metallic, shiny, that's what they're using on everything, you know, whether it be Cars or Toy Story or whatever it could be. Here we have Road Trip McQueen. Just wanted to use this one here in the video because it's the most like prominent McQueen out and about right now, with Cars on the Road merchandise in full effect. Here's a Tomica Silver Cars 3 McQueen. Now, I remember when this guy came out, it was like 2020, and we knew that we were getting a Silver McQueen from Mattel that year, and I was convinced in my mind that we were getting the Cars 3 version of him because, well, they did Silver Cruise, they did Silver King that year, what they do, Miguel, I think Raul too. I was like, I think they did Jeff as well. Yeah, I was like, there's no shot that they don't give us the Cars 3 version McQueen. But, yep, nope, they gave us the Cars 1 version of Silver McQueen, which I found quite disappointing. Oh my God, let's not ever do that again. This is the like original Chinese variant of Silver McQueen, and then they, you know, reissued him from Thailand in 2020. I thought that was an incredibly missed opportunity, but at least Tomica picked up the slack and did their version of Cars 3 Silver McQueen. So yeah, these two have similar tones for sure, but you could definitely tell that this is silver and this is, you know, a little bit more ambiguous. You know, it's the white, bare metal type vibe. They look good together too. All right. And then here we have Primer McQueen, who we all know he's not supposed to be anything special. This is the most bare bones McQueen you can get. But again, these two look good together because they have like the same paint scheme almost. I really am vibing with some of these pairs. And yeah, I decided to show the glossy Primer McQueen and not the matte one just because I thought it was a little bit more applicable. We have Silver Cars 2 World Grand Prix McQueen here. I always like the red spoiler on this guy. It stood out nicely. This is probably one of the first times that they really changed the tire color. That's not something that they do often at all, like ever. Rims, okay, wheels, you know, but not tires. Now this is a custom from Jim Scavenger and has a little bit of a blue accent, but still something that's pretty neat, and it's bling bling as well. So a few differences. Both of them, oh, never mind. I thought there were no decals. Like when I was looking at it like that, I was like, oh, no decals. But they're there. They're just in white. Good stuff. Factory custom Chrome Lightning McQueen. This is a very cool, underrated factory custom. A lot of people don't really care about it because it's like, oh, it's just like the silver version of McQueen. But no, this is chrome. Very different from Silver McQueen. And they even did the rims chrome. That's so cool. Who next? Gold Cruisin' McQueen. Released in the DVD set back in the day with Rescue Squad Mater in metallic. The original Chinese version of McQueen. Not the like 2006 original, but China as an original. Got another factory custom for you guys. White Cars 1 Lightning McQueen. You know, a lot of people I've seen complain about these Disney 100 releases, and I just don't really know why. Here's another factory custom. I think they're really great. Honestly, I know, you know, like I said, I have my critiques. I think I would have chosen slightly different characters. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not convinced yet that making Mater and Sally's hoods the metallic element or the metallic feature about them was the right way to go. Like, I'm not convinced of that yet, but who knows? You know, when I open them, I might have a different opinion. But still, though, you get 8 new cars in one case. They all are released at one time. It's not like they dribbled these throughout the rest of the year and made them super hard to get. No, they're all, you know, at once. So if you find one of them, you're probably going to find the rest of them. Although that might not hold true for Doc Hudson, because people are going to pick him up at a higher rate, I think, because he's not in that 5-pack that I've been telling you guys about. There's a 5-pack with McQueen, Mater, Ramone, Sally, and Flo, but they were like, screw Doc, get out of here, man. Again, I wonder who made that decision. Like, did they all sit down on a table? It's like, all right, guys, you know, we know that we should make a 5-pack out of these. Here's silver Hudson Hornet Piston Cup McQueen, by the way. We know we got to make a 5-pack out of these because, you know, they're special, and that's a great way to sell cars, right? And Walmart's willing to take it on, right? So, all right, who are we going to take out? We know McQueen, Mater have to be in it. So who do we remove? And everyone's like, no, well, we can't really remove Ramone or Flo because it'd be weird to have one without the other, right? And, well, Sally's like McQueen's girlfriend, and she's like pretty prominent. Well, Doc Hudson, I mean, he's not really in the movie, or he's not really in the world anymore. He kind of is like not alive anymore. So, yeah, let's get rid of him. I think that's probably how the conversation went. Because you know McQueen and Mater had to be in it. And then here you have the, I think this was the first Pixar Fest one? No, this was probably the second one. I don't remember. But yeah, see how they changed the rims, almost the same color, but never touched the tires. Never ever touched the tires. And then here's the other one. They made these way too similar to each other, in my opinion. I know the decals are different quite a bit, but the Ramones, they did Ramone both times in the Pixar Fest series, and they are completely different colors, so I think they should have probably gone in a route that direction. Even brought up this guy, the special Tokyo, Japan version of McQueen that they did last year in the Tomica line, which is beautiful. I did a review on him and the Mater also in this paint job. Not many people watch that video though, so sad. Alright guys, that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Out of all these, like, what the hell, I can't believe I compared them to like 20 cars. Which is your favorite? Has to be included in this video though. So if you were to ask me right now who's my favorite out of these, it probably would be him. This is definitely like top 3. Man, that's a tough question. I mean, I love the original version of McQueen. Like these 3 here, that is a great combo. But again, you know, if you're detail oriented, you like seeing a lot of intricacies and things, these might not be for you. They are very minimalistic, bare bones, stripped. It's like stripped Kabuto. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I will see you soon for my review of Doc Hudson back there, and then we'll go right down the line.